Paper Doll had been the maid of honor, but she did not at all approve of the match. "It will never be a happy marriage," she told Teddy Bear the night of the wedding. "Such marriages never are. How I should feel married to a man who wore dresses." Yes, he did look as if he wore a dress, for he was a Japanese gentleman doll, you see. And when he came to the playroom to live, everybody, including French doll Marie, thought he was very queer looking. But after a while, they became used to Takeo, for that was his name. And when the little mistress announced that Marie was to marry Takeo, she did not make the least objection. "What difference does it make?" she said to Frida, the Dutch doll, who lived next to her. "I suppose I shall have to marry someone, and truly, I could never live with Jumping Jack. That fellow makes me so nervous." "He seems very quiet," said Frida doll, meaning Takeo, "and perhaps you can get him to dress in men's clothes after you are married." "Yes, he is quiet, and I cannot understand a word he says, so we shall not quarrel," said Marie doll. And so they were married. Jack in the Box was the minister, because the little mistress thought he stood better than anyone else. She put a black cape on him and a white collar, and Jack behaved in the most dignified manner. Little Paper Doll wore a dress that quite outshone the bride's dress, only no one noticed it, but it was all lace and had tiny little pink buds caught in the flounces, and she wore a beautiful hat with white feathers. The bride wore a white dress with a long white veil, and there were tiny white flowers all around her head, which held the veil in place. But Takeo was far from looking the bridegroom, to Paper Doll's way of thinking, though Marie Doll gave him no thought at all, for she thought the bride was the important one. And as she told Frida Doll, "You have to have a bridegroom to be a bride, of course, but really, he is not of any importance that I can see." They had been married a week, and while Marie talked to Takeo, he, of course, did not take the least notice of what she said. "Poor fellow, he cannot understand," said Marie Doll. "He won't be any trouble, though, because I shall be able to do as I like. He cannot tell me not to." "These foreigners, my dear," said Paper Doll, "are sometimes unpleasant to live with. I cannot see how you came to marry him. Do you make him wear men's clothes?" "Oh, I think he looks quite out of the ordinary, and everyone stares at him when we go out riding in the park with the little mistress," said Marie Doll. "As I am French, you see we are both foreigners, so that does not matter. And then, dear Takeo is so comfortable to live with. He is no bother at all." But one night, Marie Doll awoke to find her husband quite a different man from what she thought, for beside her sat 2 little Japanese dolls. When the clock struck 12, Marie Doll called to everyone, "Come quick and see my baby girls." "Oh dear, they look like Takeo," said Paper Doll. "This place will be filled with foreigners. It is too bad. I shall change their clothes at once," said Marie Doll. And then it was Marie Doll and all the toys got the surprise of their lives, for from the corner where he sat came Takeo, and when he stood in front of his wife, he said, "Madam, we'll not change the clothes of our sons." When Marie recovered from her surprise, she gasped, "Sons? They are daughters." "They are sons, madam, and sons they will remain," said Takeo, looking at Marie very steadily. "I thought you could have not understand or speak our language," said Marie, while all the others stood looking at Takeo in astonishment. "I was made in this country, and so were you, but I was made to represent a Japanese gentleman, and I intend to live the life of one. As for speaking, we Japanese never speak unless we have something to say. I had something to say, and I said it. You heard me, madam. Those children are our sons, and you will not change their clothes." Takeo turned around in the very sedate manner and returned to his quarter and sat down. "I told you it would not turn out well," said Paper Doll to Teddy Bear. "Oh, poor Marie Doll, what a life you will lead." But Marie Doll was still looking at her husband, and she did not hear what Paper Doll said. She was smiling at Takeo. "Such dignity," she whispered to herself, "and how masterful he is. I shall never dare disobey him. Oh, you little darling boys, how I love you. You are just like your handsome father." And Marie Doll hugged her children to her and began to rock them. She is crazy, said Teddy Bear. Marie would never give in if she were in her right mind, I know. She is in love, said Paper Doll. She has found a master, and some women love to have a master. You women are queer creatures, said Teddy Bear. I shall never understand you. You are not supposed to understand us. You are supposed to love us, said Paper Doll. End of Chapter 4, The Playroom Wedding.